Kia ora, this is Editor Horsefry here. In this episode, we try something a little different. We tried to have a spoiler section for Higurashi spoilers. If you've been watching the series, you'll know that we usually don't have a spoiler section at all. We just talk full spoilers about Higurashi from the get-go. I quite enjoyed the effect that having a spoiler section had on the episode as a whole, but we weren't really very successful in actually keeping spoilers out of the non-spoiler section. So the practical effect of this for this episode is that we're going to talk a lot of shit about having a spoiler section, but I just want people to be aware going in that there will be full Higurashi spoilers as usual for the entire episode. If you have any thoughts about how the spoiler section changed the flow of discussion, I'd be keen to hear it, because I thought it was pretty fun, the way it changed the way we talked about the episode. It's always nice to focus on some of the more surface aspects of the chapter before we move on to, I guess, some of the deeper connective tissue of Rikishi's works. But if you guys have any thoughts, please let us know. And I hope you enjoy episode 5 of the Higurashi Bookclub.
Hello everyone, welcome to another episode of the Higurashi Bookclub. I am Des, and I am here with...
As Corey.
And Horsefry.
We're still covering Onikashi, Chapter 1. And this episode, we're going to be trying something different. And until now, we've just been doing the whole episodes with full When They Cry spoilers. This time, we're going to do a test run on doing it a bit more like the Umineko Bookclub, where we have a spoiler-free part first, and then we have full spoilers after a clear separation. So, does anybody want to disclose anything you've been doing that you want to share with the class?
I've been applying to graduate school, which has been weird. I'm hoping to go into teaching, maybe.
Oh.
Is that like, do you get a master's degree to do that, or is that like a...
Yeah, a master's and teaching license.
Nice.
And what do you want to teach?
Primary school.
Oh, nice.
Damn, I don't think I would be able to like deal with children like every day as my job. You must be like have such a big patience.
Yeah, I also just think like we need more passionate child teachers, especially after like the pandemic and seeing how kids have been messed up.
Oh, how so? What do you
There's
mean?
just like a lot of like learning and social development gaps that like being virtual has sort of placed. And this is obviously America focused mostly because I have no idea what other countries generally look like at the moment. But just in terms of like the ways children are approaching like learning and test taking and just like generally like thinking and whatnot, I feel like is really like lagging and whatnot.
I see. Well, glad such a passionate person about teaching is trying to actually become a teacher. That's actually a very important part of like school, like having a teacher that like actually wants to do their job and isn't there just like, I don't know, venting their personal frustrations on the kids.
Yeah, hope to be a chie to them. Make them curry.
You'll dye your hair, become a woman, become a fucking
curry obsessed.
That too. No, I was trying to think of what the character that she is inspired.
Oh, CL Tsukihime, right?
Tsukihime, yeah. You'll become a Tsukihime reference. Sounds like a great life plan.
I'll take it.
Okay, what about you, Horsefry?
What have I been doing? I think I started You and Me and Her. I started reading that. I don't know if I've gotten anywhere that I should discuss any of it, because like Des will be bursting at the seams to say something that he can't say because he'll spoil me. But it's been pretty good so far. Look forward to me saying this every episode for like the next 10 episodes, because like I probably will have nothing new to say. I don't know. I started work again.
Horsefry is at the very start, by the way.
Yeah, like right at the very start.
Just so people have an idea. You're at the very, very early start.
I'm probably like 2 hours in.
But I mean, you can still talk about your first impression.
I'd love to hear.
It's like it starts very like what's the word? Like it's a very rapid development. Like you basically meet, I guess, the two like main heroines / love interests, because it's called You and Me and Her, a love story, and
like there's. I mean, I'm only like 2 hours in, so maybe it'll go a complete like 180, and I'll start dating Georgia Shiramiya halfway through. But like, I'm pretty sure I know the formula to know like the two girls I meet in the first like 5 minutes will probably be the two love interests. And like, I mean, I know from what I've heard, it's not going to be a completely straightforward love story, but I'm sure I'll. And there's hints to that, I guess, being dropped already.
So what have you heard about it?
I've heard it compared to DDLC, Doki Doki, which
Interesting.
yeah,
Doki Doki
which is a little ominous because
yeah,
spoilers, but DDLC does not end happily.
spoilers for DDLC.
It's a short game. It's been released years ago, I think.
I think everyone knows the twist because the twist
Yeah,
is
true.
the part of DDLC that got memed the
You
most.
think, but one of my best friends from college downloaded and played it without knowing anything and was shocked in like 2017.
What the fuck?
So like,
Have they been living under a rock?
yeah, she's not a video game person.
I'm glad that people are still able, in
Ah,
the latter half of the, I guess, the 2010s and now the 2020s, to be able to experience something without spoilers.
yeah.
I mean, I don't think I have. Oh, I have heard a really big plot moment spoiled.
For You and Me and Her?
Yeah,
Oh no!
there is one really major one.
Oh no. Els, have you read You and Me and Her?
I have not, so I can turn my sound off for a little bit.
I don't even know if I want to say it here because, like, I
No,
don't want
no,
to
no,
spoil
that's
anyone
fine.
else. It's like, but yeah, it's also like, I mean, I'm just gonna keep.
No, yeah,
reading,
don't
like,
say it. Don't say it here. Don't say it here.
Yeah, like,
To be fair, there's many twists in Totoro.
I think,
so
like-
even if you've gotten one of them spoiled,
Yeah.
there's more to look forward to.
It's also about the journey, the destination.
not to turn this into the smoking room that I have envisaged, but like, I have been thinking a lot lately about how like good stories take a lot to actually spoil, like, and usually there's no way to spoil them to the point that there's no point in reading them. But anyway, there'll probably be a smoking room about that.
That's a great topic.
Yeah.
I can't wait for us to record that smoking room. It sounds very interesting.
What about yourself, Des?
What about me? I've been discovering that I really like cooking because now that I'm on my own, I need to cook more complex dishes than just steak and spaghetti. And I found out I really like it. It's something to look forward to. Like every weekend I go grocery shopping and I think, what new dish should I try today? Yeah, I've been enjoying myself with that.
What's one you've cooked recently?
Ah, shit. So there's this Portuguese dish. It's essentially a sandwich on a plate. Inside the sandwich, what you put is a very thin beef steak. Salami. There's different variations, but what I put was the steak, salami, olives. What else? I feel like I'm forgetting things, but that's the main part that you put inside the sandwich. Then on top of the sandwich, you put cheese and fried egg. And then the best part, it's the sauce that you then put over the sandwich. It's such a complex sauce. It has like the basic tomato sauce. It has parsley. It has onions and garlic. And then it takes white wine, whiskey, beer. It's a very complex thing, but I really liked it. It came out amazing for a first time, and like in general, it came out very well. I was not expecting it.
That sounds really good.
Yeah.
And I've also been learning that I'm such a fucking messy cooker. Like one out of every 2 times I cook, I unintentionally somehow my food leaves whatever container I'm cooking it in. My English vocabulary is really not working today. So yeah, I'm a very messy cooker, but I like it.
I'm impressed that, like, because you said it's now that you're on your own, you've started cooking like more complex dishes. Like, I was the complete opposite. Like when I didn't have to cook for other people, I was like, oh great, I can just do whatever the fuck I want. I just like started like going off the rails and like Do I feel like putting soy sauce on my fucking salad today? Yeah, sure. Like my food, like the food quality took a massive dip as soon as I started cooking for myself.
I'm the opposite actually, because sometimes I cook and I'm like, it's such a waste that only I get to taste this. I feel like I shouldn't go so hard on get so into it when I'm only cooking for myself, because it's I'm the only one tasting it. So why am I putting so much effort in and like dirting so much kitchenware and all of that? Oh yeah, I forgot. It also takes Winchester sauce.
Oh, Worcester sauce, yeah, I love that. Oh, so sorry. So you're saying now that you're not cooking for only yourself is when you? Sorry, like I thought you said you'd started cooking well.
Sorry, I didn't get the
because
question.
you were only cooking for yourself, but is it the other way around?
Yeah, exactly. No, that's it. And then I feel like it's a waste of
No, it's not a waste.
effort and too dirtying too much kitchenware.
It's practice,
to only
though.
fit one person.
It's practice for when you're cooking for others.
It is practice. Yeah.
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 Unfortunately, I can't invite people over because this is a shared house, and it would be weird. So yeah, it's only for myself, really.
You will one day have the capacity to invite people over for dinner, but
Yeah, I hope so. That's within my year plan.
oh yeah, nice.
So in a year, I do hope to be able to rent a house by myself. Yeah, I'm still really enjoying the UK. You're gonna say something?
Oh, I was just saying, like, that's something I worry about because I haven't cooked properly in a very long time. If I ever have someone over for dinner and be like, wait, what goes in a macaroni cheese again? Oh God, does chili paste go in
Macaroni
Does chili
and
paste
cheese?
go in macaroni cheese?
Okay.
Do I put cayenne pepper in macaroni cheese? Actually, cayenne pepper goes hard in macaroni cheese.
Yeah, I would say yes.
I've never heard of cayenne pepper. You know, I don't know why, but that reminded me of something that I really wanted to talk about on whatever catching up segment in whatever episode we did. So for the first in my life, I've seen anime on sale. I stumbled upon this store that sold things relating to anime, manga, games, etc. And like I just get this Attack on Titan jump scare where I'm just looking at the store and I see like a DVD box shaped box with Attack on Titan written on it, and I'm like, no, is this like the actual anime that they're selling? Then I come closer and there's just this whole section of anime, and I'm like, oh my god, it's real. It's not just like a legend. They do actually sell anime.
Do they not do that in
Holy
Portugal?
shit! And then I was looking into. No, they don't. There's no audience for it. Again, we're a very small country. I'll remind you. And then I was looking into my favorite anime to see if like how expensive it would be to buy my top 10 favorites, and I stumbled upon the box for what's it called? Shit, it's one of my favorite anime. How do I not remember it? Mushoku Tensei. I stumbled upon the box for the first season of Mushoku Tensei, and it's very big. And I'm like, oh my god, this must be a special edition. Special editions always come with fun little prizes with them. Like, so I flip the box, and I'm just assaulted by the Wally hentai fucking jump scare that was that back part of the box. So I'm just in this store looking at Wallies. Amazing. Thank you, Mushoku Tensei. That was amazing.
Did you get it?
Of course not. Of course
That's
not.
the experience of buying anime DVDs. Is like you play it, you place it face down on the counter so the lolly hentai isn't showing, and then the person has to pick it up and turn it over to scan the barcode, and they just look at it and like look away. They don't look at you. They just kind of look away. Yeah.
You're used to it.
I think we're a small country too, New Zealand, but like we definitely have like this anime. You can just buy anime DVDs. Yeah, there's like a kind of a, I guess, DVD store.
I think because they're subbed in English.
Yeah, actually, that's probably it. Yeah, subbed and occasionally dubbed. Yeah, so it would fill out a shelf better. But for us, it's just really expensive. Like, the amount you
I think it's expensive.
yeah, like the amount you pay for like one season, and there's always like 10 seasons of all of like anime that you might want to collect, and it's like it comes out to like hundreds of dollars.
And I found it kind of cheap, to be honest. How much does a 25 episode season cost there? Like, what anime do you know how much it costs? Like,
Okay, so
do you have any
Cowboy
example?
Bebop, I do have. I think I have both now. Like, it was weird because the whole of Cowboy Bebop was split into two Blu-ray releases. The first one was like $50. That's $50 New Zealand. So like, I guess like $25 US. I think that's still a lot of money, even in the US. Like the exchange rate doesn't really capture it. $50 is a lot of money to spend on like half of a season of an anime.
Yeah,
And
that's
then-
a lot.
It's $30, $30 American dollars. Yeah.
So that's probably the exact same, just with the exchange rate. Like $50, that's a lot of money.
Yeah.
And then it was something like $30 New Zealand for the second half of the season. Which like I don't know why they did it like that, because there's the same number of episodes. And I don't think the quality of Cowboy Bebop did a massive downturn or anything, that they have to sell it cheaper. Like it wasn't on sale, it was just cheaper. But anyway, like for all of Cowboy Bebop, which is not that long, like it is a one season like show, it was $80.
Damn, that's a lot.
And then the thing is, like the store that I bought that from, because I did buy it because Cowboy Bebop's great, but the store that I bought that from, like you can go around the corner and you just go back to like the English language section, and you can probably pick up like if you're looking for sales, you can probably pick up like season 1 of Breaking Bad for $10. So
for $10, do you know how much the first season of Breaking Bad costs in the UK?
what?
£1.50.
£1.50. Wow. I mean, that probably is like, because there's a really good exchange rate for like the pounds to New Zealand dollars is like,
Oh my god.
like there's like £5 or $5 to a pound or something, like it's so it's probably like in the same order of magnitude, but that's still real cheap. Yeah.
It is, bro. It is so fucking cheap. But yeah, well, should we get into Higurashi?
And let's get into the cicadas.
Yo, it's cicada season finally. I don't know if any of you get that reference or not.
Cicada season? No.
So there's this interview Ryukishi interview they did, where they just completely fumbled both the name of Higurashi and the name of Ryukishi. So it's in English, and they called Ryukishi Dragon Knight 07, and they called Higurashi Cicadas. Dragon Knight 07, the creator of Cicada season. That's what they say.
Right.
And the long-awaited sequel, Seagull season.
Seagull season.
Seagull season.
I mean, it's probably not the worst translation. It's obviously not a literal translation. We're used to when the cicadas cry, I suppose, but like the cicadas cry during cicada season. So when the cicadas cry could be the cicada season.
So what would Umineko no Nakokorani be? Would it be like when you're on the shore or something?
Yeah, or when the storm passes. But I guess like that's where it no longer is.
No, that's a banger name, Horsefry. When the storm passes, god damn.
That would be a cool name. But like like I guess that's where like they translated cicada season when there wasn't an Umineko to establish a pattern. So it's like, when do the cicadas cry? During cicada season. So we'll just call it cicada season.
What the fuck? That actually makes sense,
And then
Horsefry.
Umineko comes out and they're like, shit, this has to be it. They do the same shit with Yu-Gi-Oh, right? You get like Skull Servant, and then they try to release an archetype, and they're all puns on the name like White, as in Wight. And they're like, well shit, like all of these names are actually real good, but we have to translate them. And they did in the end. They just put a little note at the bottom of like every fucking card that's like,
This card is treated as a Skull Servant is treated as a... Yeah, I know exactly what you're talking about.
it's the other way around. Yeah, all of these cards are treated as Skull Servant when they're in the graveyard, or in certain places. But like yeah, that like Skull Servant's a funny name, but like then they have a whole archetype to staple him onto, so they have to like do a bunch of hoops.
So
All right,
cicadas.
should we begin the
Let us.
cicadas? So
Let us
yeah,
start.
so Keiichi meets up the next morning after the festival, which was the last episode covered. They meet up the next morning with Mion and Rena, and they congratulate each other on the antics from last night, and you know, all of the clever ways they won the games, and they head for school. As Keiichi steps to the classroom, he also steps into something else. A bucket of cold water is a trap set by Satoko.
Oh, Satoko.
And of course, all of these things are trying to show you that everything is just the same as always, and this series is going to go on exactly the same for eight chapters, and it's just going to be fun, heartwarming, harmless entertainment. So we get the first appearance of Chie, the teacher. I'm pretty sure this is the first appearance because she was mentioned
I think so.
in earlier days, but she never actually like showed up. It was just like kind of mentioned that she has to be like primary school teacher and like secondary school teacher and like babysitter all in one. But this is her first appearance of the sprite. At least in the PS3 sprites. I can't remember if she shows up.
Factually untrue, she appears in the opening.
Well, that opening spoils so much.
Does she appear in the opening?
She does. The fucking opening spoils things that don't happen.
Yeah.
That's what always cracks me up. Like I was reading. Ah shit! No, this is spoiler free. I'm so fucking stupid. I forgot.
Oh yeah, spoilers. Yeah, no, it's all good. We haven't spoiled anything.
I'll just move it to the full spoiler part. But yeah, I read all of Higurashi waiting for the fucking helicopter to appear, and it never did, because that's on the side arcs.
Yeah.
That's not on the main story.
Ah, right. Yeah, because the opening is the opening in the original release?
No,
like,
the
was
original
there a-
has no
no.
openings. There's no
Yeah.
like vocal song.
Yeah. So that would make sense.
In fact, the pattern of the songs being named after the game started because the Higurashi anime's theme song is called Higurashi no Nakukoroni, similar to how like Umineko's
Right.
first is Umineko and Ciconia's is Ciconia.
Interesting.
So yeah, if you weren't watching the opening cinematic, that then this is the first appearance of Chie. She appears and thanks everybody who stayed behind after the festival to clean up. And obviously, the rest of the club didn't stay behind to clean up. They're more of a mess-causing crew. But
Those ruffians, bad influences.
so she also says that some people might be coming to Hinamizawa to interview locals about the festival and to not go blabbing anything stupid to them that might be misinterpreted. Which is a very roundabout way of Keiichi understands that what she's saying is like, don't go talking about Oyashiro-sama's curse and like, you know, making the village look bad. Just, you know.
Yeah, and the way Keiichi rationalizes that in his monologue, he goes like, in other words, she was saying, don't spout stupid shit you think is funny. And I did not remember Higurashi dropping swears that like casually. Like it was such the contrast between the vibe the scene was good, because like if they were in a fight, okay,
Yeah.
but like they just dropped shit so casually. I was taken aback.
That's true, actually, because like I don't think they actually swear. Like they don't swear at each other, like ever really. I'm kind
I don't remember the whole text, but I wouldn't be surprised if like Takano said fuck once.
Yeah.
But like
Let
in
Takano
Keiichi's
say
monologue during a slice of life scene, Takano say
We
fuck.
should probably move this to the spoiler section as well, because I think Takano at this point, we don't even know her name.
Ah, shit. Fuck, you're right. Oh my god.
Our experiment is going so well.
We do know technically we do know who Mio is.
Yeah, I think we got there the day before, but Keiichi has already forgotten, as we will.
I think it'll be funnier. It'll be funnier if instead of just cutting these parts, we just spoiler tag it with Nipas, and then at the end, after like the end card, we just put all of the clips from us, by which I mean me, spoiling things
That'll
unintentionally.
work. It's, like I've been listening to like Marcy, who you might know from the channel, has a much bigger channel, which is she's a professional voice actress and video essayist on YouTube. She's been doing all of Umineko, like she's just finished all of Umineko EP1, like reading the voices, and like it's been a real fun time. But one of the things that she did was she used the Umineko project version, which means like all of the characters are just swearing. They just go like fuck, and like where like I definitely don't remember that. I do remember.
Really?
I do remember there was a Flow Perfecto meme where like it was like let him say it. Which was,
Let
like,
Butler say fuck.
Yeah.
Yes.
and it plays
And
like
he outstretches his arm.
yeah, that's the one. That's exactly it. Yeah. So I guess I know why that was now. I just like always assumed that came from the anime or something, and he said fuck in English. But yeah, no, like yeah, like the Umineko project is full of like swear words. Yeah.
Is Umineko project the same as Witch End?
No, it's a different translation, I think.
No.
I think it's yeah, like completely new
Okay.
translation. I'm not sure of the details, but yeah, compared to like Seventh Mod, which is just adding voices and like adding the sprites and basically converting into the PS3 version. I think Umineko Project is like I want to say a whole new translation and like kind of a fan remake of the game.
Yeah, it's an attempt
Ooh,
to
what?
port the PS3 version over to a PC port.
Oh, okay, right. The PS3 version doesn't have its own English translation though, does it? Because it was Japanese only.
No, yeah.
Yeah, so that would be why it has its own translation.
Yeah, and there's also all of the translations of the side arcs that didn't get official translations until just recently.
Yeah.
So anyway, yeah.
Okay, well, let's
Back to
continue.
Back to Higurashi.
So yeah, don't say it. Don't say anything stupid. Don't spout stupid shit
Back to reality.
that people might misinterpret.
Don't say it, don't think it.
So after school, Mion pulls a game board out of the cabinet, and it's Cluedo, or Clue, I think is the American. I only know that because the movie is called Clue, but I think the rest of the world knows it as Cluedo.
Wait, is it called
I think-
Cluedo in New Zealand?
It's called Cluedo in, I think, most places.
Yeah, is it called Clue in Portugal?
No, it's called Cluedo too. We just don't pronounce
Yeah.
it like that, but it is also written
Oh.
like that.
Okay. Yeah, I'm pretty sure it's Cluedo everywhere. I'm not sure why there's I assume Clue was like made in America, but I don't have any reason to believe that, so maybe it wasn't.
I believe the Clue game specifically is the game with the board game included, and Cluedo is the generic like item or like.
Okay.
si-
Yeah.
But I also could be wrong.
That explains why, because all I know is the movie is called Clue.
Okay.
And I was like watching the movie. I'm like, wait, this is Cluedo, and then
The
yeah,
movie's
okay.
so good.
The movie is so good. Like Tim Curry is like.
Phenomenal.
I think it was the YouTube channel Just Right who said, you know that Tim Curry is like on point when Christopher Lloyd is in this movie, and he is not the highest energy character on screen. Like,
Do you know why? Okay, I'm gonna try not to spoil the movie. Do you know the multiple things that happen at the end?
Yes.
Do you know why there's multiple of them and not just one?
Yes.
What about you, Horsefry?
sorry, you dropped out. I assume you mean the multiple endings. Is that?
Yeah, I was trying not to spoil it for the
Oh,
audience.
sorry. Yeah, I
Do you know why there's multiple and not just one of them? Because it's such a fucking nice. It's such an interesting thing.
I think it was because they showed it in cinemas, right? And they wanted people who like talked about it afterwards to be like, "Oh man, I can't believe that X was the culprit," and they go, "What? No," and like just cause confusion so that people went back and watched the movie again.
It's similar to what Across the Spider-Verse did in theaters.
Yeah, that's so genius. That's so yeah.
Must have done something like
And people do. That's so fucking funny because it's like the internet version of that. Because now instead of people like realizing that in real life, it's people posting clips or screenshots on Twitter, and other people going like, "Wait, I don't remember that." It was a fun week on Twitter.
That is really cool. That's a good idea. More people should do that when they make movies. It's like make movies that have like just have a completely different like plot lines. Like I don't know if anyone cares about like Marvel Cinematic Universe, Infinity War spoilers or whatever, but like have an ending where like they beat Thanos and everyone's happy, and like and then have one where like he kills everybody and just let the internet go wild, and then I guess.
But also at the same time, we don't need more Marvel stuff.
No, we don't. I think people are starting to get tired of them, and man, it's been a long time. Like, I'm not complaining, it's fine, but it has like sucked up a lot of oxygen in like filmmaking space.
I never got into it.
No, me neither.
I go in and out. So
right,
Cluedo.
Anyway, Cluedo. So yeah, like it's Cluedo. If you haven't played Cluedo, like the important bit is that everybody's got cards, and like they know who's innocent because they're holding those cards, and they know which weapons weren't used because they're holding that card. And like basically by asking each other, or by asking the group who has those cards, they can figure out what other cards are also innocent, and narrow down the culprit, the murder weapon, and the location. So by the end you can be like,
yeah, I really like how I like how Ryukishi handled this bit, because it would be very boring if he just infodumped the rules at the start. So what he does is he makes the instructions be in a foreign language that the characters don't know, and that way the readers learn the rules. We, as the characters, also learn the rules. It's a very organic way to like teach the audience what the rules are without just front loading them with information.
Yeah. So they start playing, but Keiichi and Rena they're getting smoked. They're just apparently their talents aren't a natural fit for this game. So Keiichi sneaks out and he winks at Rena that causes her to follow him out. And they devise a plan to cheat. They're going to show each other their hands, which will double the amount of starting information they have, and make it really easy to, or I guess a little bit more easy to try and guess the culprit. So, and then Keiichi's like, you head back first. He sends Rena back first. And then as Keiichi's about to follow her, he gets intercepted by Chie, who says, there's someone waiting at the front desk for him. And so Keiichi goes out, and we meet...
who could it be?
We meet Captain Delicious, Oishi the police detective.
The one and only.
Who
Delicious.
wastes no time, and like this is his first impression. His first impression is like, "Hey, little boy, come with me into my air-conditioned car," and like,
Mayabarasa.
he's not like, he's not like, "Hi, I am from the police. Here is my police badge. I have some questions to ask." He's like, Mayabarasa, let's go into my car. It's air-conditioned. Sweaty old man asking you to get into his car, and Keiichi is like, this seems like a bad idea because I don't know who this is and I'm just getting into their car, but it is hot out here, so he gets into the car.
Yes. Keiichi
notices it is cool.
It is cold, yeah,
in the car.
This motherfucker, Keiichi has two neurons and they're competing for third place.
So yeah, having enticed this little boy into his unmarked van with air conditioning, Oishi tries a little bit of small talk, but Keiichi's too on edge. He wants to know why this, like, he's pretty sure he's obviously a police officer. I mean, Oishi never shows him a badge, but like, he is a police officer, I guess. Like, we find that out pretty clearly over the next couple of days. He is a police officer, and Oishi shows Keiichi a picture of a man that Keiichi doesn't initially think he recognizes. But then Oishi also mentions he was wearing a shirt that was graffitied by all of the club members. And Keiichi realizes, man, is this guy Tomitake? Because like the picture doesn't really look like him without Tomitake's kind of carefree expression and attitude. He looks kind of like very vacant and passive in this picture. And so...
Dead?
Yeah, like he didn't recognize him at first. But,
yeah, man, it's kind of hard to keep that cool expression when you're dead.
Yeah. Oh, is that why? Oh, I thought he had a different expression for a different reason. But yeah,
I
it
thought
could be
it
a
was-
picture of him while he's dead. That makes a lot of sense.
Well, I always assumed it was his dead picture, but yeah, now that you bring it up, it would be
Yeah.
kind of weird for him to just be showing a kid a picture of a corpse. So maybe he does like just have, I don't know, his photo from his identity card or something.
Yeah, it's just like straight up like, hey kid, want to see a dead body? Like,
Or a more like official photo.
I mean, he did just invite the kid into his car without
Yeah.
introducing himself, so I wouldn't put it past Oishi, to be honest.
I always assumed it was like a school yearbook photo or something, like where he's you know when they,
A school yearbook photo, like he's asking.
well when they take your photo for the passport and you're like, you get up there and you give you a big grin and they're like, yeah, don't smile, like passive face, and you're like, oh okay, you're like, you look like a psychopath.
When the facial recognition ain't working and you gotta watch it.
Yeah. I've had two passport photos. Like, my second one was a lot better because like I think I got older and my face kind of changed. My face became like older person face. But like I got one when I was like 17, and I still looked like a teenager. And like me not smiling, the teenager face just somehow just looks like a psychopath. I'm glad I don't have that. I'm glad I don't have that passport photo anymore.
Man, when I took my passport photo, I thought I was being smart and I tried to sneak a grin in, except it came out looking so weird. It feels like it feels like a mugshot of a prideful drug dealer. It did not go as I did not end up looking as I envisioned myself looking. So now I'm a drug dealer for 5
I don't
years.
have any fun stories about my passport.
Fair enough. Yeah, okay. But after Oishi prods Keiichi a little bit, asking him how much he knows about the curse of Oyashiro-sama, Oishi finally reveals what's going on, which is that Tomitake was found dead. Not just dead, but like very brutally beaten by external things, and then somehow he tore his own throat out with his fingernails. So he mentions that like he was kind of found about 5 minutes to midnight, which isn't that long after they split ways with the club. They found him like face down, covered in blood, where the road turns paved. It sounds like a suicide, but also not, because it's so brutal and like so painful that you'd think that like you'd just instinctively stop at a certain point. It sounds like a suicide, but like it doesn't, which is and there's the complicating factor of like all the external wounds inflicted, bruises and stuff from some kind of external perpetrator. They mentioned there were no drugs detected in Tomitake's system, although it was thought he was in a state of hysteria until death. Yeah, and what's more, it seemed like he had a piece of lumber that was, I think, found nearby. That it seems like he swung around, he hit lots of trees and stuff, but he didn't seem to hit anything that was like another person. Yeah. And there's basically no blood anywhere except his own.
It's a very mysterious death. It feels like the kind of thing you'd hear about in a YouTube video. You'd go down a rabbit hole at 3 a.m. or something. It's that kind of mysterious thing.
Yeah. It's like the perfect mix of like, oh, maybe that's the reason, and then like enough for you to be like, no, there's definitely foul play here. Like there's the whole like he tore his own throat out, which is like, oh, case closed, it was suicide. But then you're like, wait, that's really hard to do. And also like who was beating him up until like moments before he died, and yeah. And why is there a nearby piece of wood that he was using to fend people off?
And who was he fending off with the wood? And
there's enough there that you're like, no, this was murder. But like, why did he tear out his own throat? It was definitely his own. Like, it's definitely his own fingernails that tore out his throat, because I think they found traces of flesh and stuff under his fingernails. Like, yeah, it's mysterious. And what's more, the woman who was with Tomitake, who we might know the name, and we will soon know the name. The woman who was with Tomitake has disappeared. No trace. Oishi says the villagers have not been cooperative, and Keiichi recognizes that this might be the reason why he is being approached. Being an outsider, Oishi probably thinks that he's more likely to help.
Yeah, Makes sense.
So Keiichi reluctantly agrees to a request from Oishi just to let him know if he sees anything suspicious. But he gets a little rankled when Oishi says, "Oh, this is confidential. Don't tell anyone, even your friends, especially Mion and Rika."
Mion and Rika. That's yikes.
What a stupid thing to say.
Yeah. But Oishi shares that he suspects that a village conspiracy was what killed all of the curse victims, and that Mion and Rika are members of really influential village families, and so I guess implied that, you know, if they're not in on it, then it'll be a really easy place to like leak information.
I believe this is the first time in the story where we hear about the Sonozakis being influential in the village.
Probably. Yeah, and Oishi telling Keiichi not to tell Reika or Mion, it is a stupid thing to say, but it works because he doesn't tell them. And that's what he wants to, because if he did tell them about it, they would probably tell him, don't speak with Oishi, or like, and convince him to not speak with Oishi. So it's like, what he's saying makes sense from standpoint of what he wants to achieve, and it actually works. Oishi's so manipulative, but he's very good at it. We see that time and time. Fuck, I'm getting into spoilers again. God, fuck.
He's a damn good cop, aka a bad cop.
Yeah, I mean, if any police officer like told me like not to say anything about a certain topic, like that would be, I guess, like I would take that as like probably a good idea, because like you can get in trouble for that kind of thing, you know. Like you got to think like, I don't know, will I get charged with like obstructing an investigation or something? And it's like, it's not like I'm ratting on my friends by not telling them. I'm just like not telling them, which you'd think would be something you can do. You don't have to tell everybody everything that you do.
But these are also people who Keiichi has only met like a month ago, you know?
Yeah, there's that too.
Has it been a month? A whole month?
It's less time than I feel like you think, because he only lived in the village, I think, for a couple weeks before leaving for the funeral in the beginning.
Okay, yeah, then it's about a month.
And also, you know, when Keiichi's reluctant to not tell his friends, Oishi changes tack and he says, you know, it's not worth bothering all the people of the village with this information, because it's really not worth getting people worked up about the curse again, you know? Like, it's obviously not a curse, but why would you go around telling people that someone's died and someone's disappeared on the night of Washinagashi? You know, you're only going to get people worked up. Which does work on Keiichi, and he thinks about how that's what everyone's been doing to him for the last 9 days. You know, like, he's been asking, wanting to know about the damn incident. No one's been telling him. And, you know, from that perspective, it's like, oh, I'm just doing the same thing back. I'm sparing them the
mental anguish.
Yeah, the mental anguish. Yeah, exactly. Of knowing about another murder. He also, Oishi also points out that all of the victims seem to have been enemies of the village. He mentions that at first it was the dam foreman, who was obviously clearly an enemy of the village, and then some villagers who supported the dam, and then the priest who doesn't oppose it enough. And he points out, Keiichi points out that like it seems like the bar for enemy of the village is like getting lower and lower.
Keeps getting lower.
And Oishi's like, yeah, isn't that scary? Anyone could be next. It could be you. Which like is very manipulative, but like, yeah, you know, like it certainly does seem like the if there's a pattern, it's becoming more and more random. So, you know, it is scary. But mainly manipulative, like.
Because the last victim, if I'm not mistaken, was the wife of the brother of a supporter. Like,
it was the sister or the sister-in-law of the it was the sister-in-law
of the new husband.
Yeah, like it was very tenuous link between like I think the second and the fourth curse victims. Anyway, yeah.
So it just doesn't make sense anymore.
So yeah, Keiichi agrees to keep quiet. And sorry, Oishi also reveals that Mion was front and center of a number of misdemeanors that were intended to oppose the dam work, and her family was highly influential in organizing the protests. Which, if anything, would just bias me towards her. I don't know why he reveals that, but he's a cop, so he's like, you need to know your friends are technically criminals. Gasp. But yeah. I guess I don't know. I don't even know if it works on Keiichi. He just reveals that information. I don't know what Oishi thought Keiichi would think. I don't know what Keiichi actually thinks about that. But yeah, apparently Mion is no stranger to her.
I feel like Oishi. I just feel like Oishi. He's just talking. He has a goal, but like at a certain point, he's just
That's
yapping.
true.
He's just talking. Oishi's just talkative. Like he doesn't need to have like a reason to say what he says. He just says shit.
That's true. He certainly does seem like a chatty person. And I think he tried to do a bunch of small talk to start with, but Keiichi just kind of cut right to the chase. So yeah, he just seems like a chatty person, I suppose. But
Yeah.
so yeah, Keiichi.
To be fair, he did just get into the car of a stranger, so yeah, I don't find it strange that Keiichi just wants him to get to the point.
Especially because Keiichi was playing a game.
Like if you got in the car of a stranger and they started going like, I wonder what I'll have for dinner. You're like, yo, so what am I doing here again?
But yeah, like with that, Keiichi finally gets let off the hook, so he is able to go back and just in time to. He hasn't won a single game, a single hand, mind you. He comes back and he is not in last place. Renner is at -1 points. So it turns out, like his strategy of disappear. I mean, not a strategy, but his apparent strategy of disappear and just come back right at the end is actually working for him. He's not going to lose at this rate. But the text implies that he kind of just like he feels bad for Renner, so he kind of shares his hand, and it says like he just keeps quiet. Like he doesn't try to like find the culprit, and Renner manages to win the final round, which does mean that him and Renner have to share the penalty. So yeah, I assume he just kind of throws, which I guess is against the club rules, but it's kind of nice that he's like, especially when the penalty this time is like they have to go shopping, so they get to go shopping together. That's nice. But it turns out like Mion's penalty was specially chosen because she has a big list of like basic shopping list that she just can't be bothered going shopping. So she orchestrated this whole thing so that someone else could go shopping for her.
She's a busy person.
Yeah, she's a busy person. Yeah.
Because Keiichi's so fearful of all. He gives us so many examples of horrible things that Mion could have him go by, like hemorrhoid cream, something related to family planning,
sex guide or whatever.
Family planning guide, yeah. and it was going to be him and Renner having to go to the store and like I don't know, ask for a jumbo pack of condoms or something. But instead, it's just like
Get
it's
my
just
groceries.
like bread, milk,
Shampoo.
eggs. Yeah, I use this shampoo.
And honestly, Mion would.
I respect it. Like
Mion, yes. Well, she does.
Oh, yeah.
Like,
but she'd plan it from the beginning with her errands.
yes. I mean, yeah, she did come prepared with the list, so.
Well, you know what the brilliant thing is she has to do those errands anyway. So if she loses, she doesn't lose any time. She just goes to another shop, like while she's already going to the shops. So it's kind of like it's not a win-win, but it's a win lose less. It's like
neutral.
I mean, apart from all the hemorrhoid cream that you have to buy. I mean, but
Well, that was also assuming she lost.
Yeah, exactly. And if she wins, then she like wins. She doesn't. She just gets to offload a random chore she had to do.
I do wonder how Rina got -1. Like, how do you go about doing that?
You lose a point if you guess wrong.
You do?
Yeah, that's what they say at the start.
Oh, so I thought they just played multiple games.
They do. If you win, the game's over and you gain a point. If you guess wrong, you lose a point.
You lose a point.
Yeah.
That makes sense.
Okay.
So you really...
that makes sense.
Yeah. You really would just have to, like, guess wrong and then guess right a few times and then just guess wrong and not guess right and then you'd be at -1, like... And you can kind of imagine if you're guessing wrong... No, if you guess wrong, probably someone gets it the next round, so... Yeah, who knows how the game went. But, Yeah. So that's the end of the first part of day 10. That we get 2 tips. The first tip is titled "There are more than 4 perpetrators?" ? And we get Oishi having a chat with the foreign investigator, and it's the forensic investigator. Reading is hard. And they're basically just chatting, and they're recapping all the stuff that Oishi related to Keiichi. I think some of the stuff you find out here, like it's specifically the fact that Tomitake's throat skin is under his own fingernails, and that's kind of how they know that he tore out his own throat. But mainly it's just recapping the stuff. And Oishi kind of chats pointing out that a man of Tomitake's physique, he was obviously, you can see it in the sprites, he's a pretty buff guy, pretty fit. To take down someone like that safely, you'd probably need, Oishi estimates, at least 4 assailants. And then you'd be able to bridge a gap, even if those 4 assailants weren't particularly strong.
That's so fucking random. Because, at least 4 people, because he's strong, what if he just has another person who's equally as strong? Wouldn't that be enough?
I guess
it's fight
math. Where does he pull this stat out?
I guess the implication is, if you're going to, decisively take someone down, there doesn't appear to be any, it's pointed out that, he hit a tree and he hit a sign or something, but he never appears to have hit anybody with that piece of lumber he was swinging. And so the idea is, if you're 1v1ing Tomitake with who has a piece of lumber, it's pretty hard to, just perfect him. He'd probably get a hit in. You'd have to go in for a punch or maybe you have a baseball bat or something, but you have to close distance, and even if he loses on the exchange, he'll probably hit you on the arm or or on the leg or something. Whereas if you have 4 people, you can kind of surround them. My parents told me once about one time they went hiking, and there was a guy there who had a dog, and the dog was chained up. It is weird that they had a dog and they were hiking, but maybe it was the ranger or something, I don't know. But this dog was chained up, and New Zealand, we have these mountain parrots called Kia, and they are fucking smart. They are smart little shits. And they're very curious, and they will tear all of the rubber off of your car if you park it in the car park spot while you go hiking. But what they were doing is that they surrounded this dog, and one of them would hop forward, nip him on the tail, and as he turned around and ran to the length of his chain, that one would fly off, and another one would come in from behind and nip him in the tail as he reached the end of his chain, and then he'd turn around and they'd just be doing that, tormenting this dog because they knew it was on a chain. They also mentioned there was a veteran hiker that they saw, and he had a bag full of fireworks, and his whole night, because they would come and try and steal random items from his tent, or try and peck his tent, or strip, I don't know, not rubber because you don't really have rubber, but just strip anything off of his tent that they could. He would basically kind of half sleep. But then if he heard an animal, he would just light a firework and throw it out, and it would scare them all off. And that was his strategy for dealing with fear. I guess it just reminds me of that first thing, multiple people surrounding Tomitake. He's swinging wildly, but that kind of leaves someone open for a Dark Souls backstab or something.
I guess I was just curious where he pulled this curled math out from.
I think he's the writing implies that it's just because Oishi's a police detective, and he's had to fight people before. He's had to restrain people who were tough, but maybe not trained in police kung fu or whatever.
Police kung fu.
Yes, police kung fu.
It's the mental calculus of a police officer who's had to do this a few times.
I guess, yeah. Maybe it's just experience, yeah.
Yeah, experience. Yeah, that's a good way of saying it.
That makes sense.
Is this a spoiler as well?
Not this fucking guy. Well, since I've already done it, that makes sense because in Hitsumashi, what's it called? Himatsubushi?
Yeah.
In Himatsubushi, yeah, that does happen. So, yeah, it would make sense if he's just pulling that from memory.
So, the next tip is called Search Notice. and basically they give a whole bunch of of I guess facts and leads for each of the two dead / missing people. So I think this is where, if we haven't already, this is where we learn Takano's full name, Mio Takano. And it's quite uncertain. Like, she just disappeared. Is she a victim? Is she a suspect? Like, for that one, it's like kind of find the body or find the person is like kind of the. And then for Tomotake, it's kind of a rehash of all the things we do and don't know about him, and kind of was it a suicide? Like, what drugs could induce someone to do that? Like, yeah. And then at the bottom we get, I want some cream puffs, 4 jumbo ones, oishi. Which, like,
very important
character building information about Oishi. He likes cream puffs.
Yes.
What were you going to say, Iskuri?
I was going to say something, but then I did realize it was spoiler section, so...
The spoiler section is going so hot.
This is going great.
Do we want to just move into spoilers for day 10?
I mean, what do you guys...
No, let's have the spoilers for the end.
let's try and actually do the thing we said we'd do.
Yeah.
All right, so that's the end of day 10. So day 11. So Keiichi stayed up all night last night because he kept worrying about the curse and the murders. So he gets to school and he's like, "Fuck me, I'm tired," and he kind of like half pretends to like sleep at his desk.
I think he's trying to sleep. He's just unable to.
I think he is trying to sleep, yeah, but like he's not sleeping. Basically, he's kind of acting like he's sleeping, and he's probably like trying to get some sleep.
Well, that's how you fall asleep. To fall asleep, you first need to pretend that you're asleep.
Yeah.
Which is weird when you think about it. You gotta fake it until you make it, literally.
Yeah, that's true. That is weird. But the point is that as he's pretending to sleep but not sleeping, he can hear Mion and Rena discussing things that they think he can't hear because he's asleep. They're kind of talking about the disappearances, and he can't hear all of it, but he can hear enough to be like, "Whoa, they don't want me to hear this." And they're talking about like, "Whoa, was this a curse or was this an onikakushi?" And he's like, "Onikakushi, that's a weird name. It's almost like the title of a book, a chapter in a book. Chapter 1, Onikakushi." And he for the benefit of us English speakers, he breaks it out into what it means. Oni, which is like demon. Kakushi, disappearance. And he's like, what does that mean? Demoning away? And then he thinks over the implications of this, still pretending to sleep. Is Onikakushi and Oyashiro-sama's curse 2 completely different things?
What do you mean you don't know what Onikakushi is? It's the arc with the most remakes ever. You have the 2 animes, you have the visual novel, you have the manga, you have the CD drama, you have the play, you have... What else do you fucking have?
The first chunk of Go.
The 2 anime. You have the first Kosotsu too.
Oh, you're so right. They repeat it there too.
The movie?
Where you have... There's more. I just don't remember, but I know there's like a ridiculous...
Oh, there's the live action.
The
live action.
There's the live action. Yes.
The movie, yeah. There's a movie and a TV show, right? Like, there's 2 live action Higurashis.
What? Is there?
Isn't that right?
Is there?
You were saying that to me before.
I believe it.
Did they just see us a JV and assume it was a series?
Is there a K-drama?
I don't know.
Because I'm pretty sure you only had the Higurashi movie.
I can't remember who told me that. Was it Kirby? Oh, I can't remember.
Or
was it? It might have been Horse Game actually. I feel like it was in the last episode, but I don't know. Maybe I'm just making up shit.
The equine hive mind.
Equine hive mind. Yeah. So they're talking about like, are these 2 different things? Apparently, the curse requires 2 victims, which means if there weren't 2 victims, then it must have been a demoning away. So Keiichi's kind of confused, and he can't quite hear everything. So it's harder to make a informed interpretation. And the other thing that Keiichi picks up is that Rena seems really scared, and she's like, it seems like she thinks she'll be the next victim. Like she's like freaking out about it, and Mion's like, don't worry, like. You'll be fine. But Rena seems real scared. And Keiichi immediately engages his rat reflex and is like, I should snitch to Oishi about this. Which, like, so much for being, like, reluctant to be a spy. Like, you just immediately, like, oh, like one of my friends is in distress.
Keiichi trusts all cops.
Yeah. Which, like, I mean,
to be fair, he's sleep deprived.
He is sleep
And
deprived, yeah.
he barely knows these people. So, and Oishi is a cop, so it does seem like the most reasonable thing to do, I guess.
I guess, yeah. So after school, Keiichi wants to play Cluedo again. But Mion's like, oh, sorry, I forgot, but I need to go and help my uncle. Apparently she gets good part-time pay to occasionally help out at her uncle's toy/game store. And no one in the club is real keen to like play games without Mion. I mean, except Keiichi, who's like, he really wanted to play that game again. But he kind of realizes that like the club is like an all or nothing thing. So he kind of plays around with the cards a bit, but he's like, yeah, alright, fine. I'll just go watch TV or something.
I don't even think it's the fact that they're not all there. I think it's the fact that Mion isn't there, because the whole aura of the club, I guess, it feels like Mion's kind of like that one friend to where if they're not there, the group just falls apart because the group is formed around that person.
True. I mean, they kept playing. Well, Keiichi.
I feel like Mion is that kind of person.
And Mion's also the one who loves games the most and is definitely like the reason why they're all playing the games. They're Mion's games. She wants them to play it.
That's true, yeah.
Yeah, if Mion wasn't there, the club would probably still exist, but they would be doing something else instead of playing games.
So yeah, Keiichi kind of plays around with the cards a bit. He's like, all right, yeah. He goes to put the cards away. But as he does that, he's like, what's this? He sees all the names of the culprits on the cards. There's Rena, Satoko, Rika, Keiichi, Mion, and one more, Satoshi. Satoshi. Who's that?
Who is that?
And he asks Rena...
How do you not know? It's Satoshi Ketchum from Poet Town.
He asks Rena about Satoshi, and he gets another one of Rena's trademark, like, I don't know, no idea, replies. Just like immediate like denial of the question, as opposed to like any actual like don't know kind of answer. Like it's so immediate and like it's so clear that she's hiding something. And Keiichi starts to feel a little miffed about that. He's like,
yeah. Hey, Rena, who's this Satoshi? I don't know. What?
Like,
I don't know. What do you mean you don't know? I just don't know.
Yeah.
But I didn't even finish my... I don't know.
So yeah, he's kind of miffed. People are hiding shit from him all the time. As they're walking home, Rena's like, hey, Keiichi, you look a little sick. And Keiichi's like, I feel fine. But he just wonder, like, oh man, I feel so foreboding lately. Something bad's gonna happen. And he tries to get his mind off it. And he asks Rena, like, how was it for you, like, coming to Hinamizawa for the first time? And she kind of talks about how, like, she felt the same way as Keiichi. She came to a new town, didn't know anyone, but Mion was real nice, so she, like, tried to help her, like, get settled in. She mentions that apparently the club formed after Rena arrived at the school. And before that, apparently, they didn't have a club. And she points out, like, Mion used to be real bad at games. And she would come up with horrible penalties for every game and then have to do them all herself. She kind of evolved into her...
Honestly, I can see that being why the cheating rule came about.
Yeah, true.
Mion just cheating in order
True.
Actually, I had a different thought about that. Because I just read that as Mion losing on purpose so that the other people wouldn't be too scared of the penalties to actually join the game.
That's an idea.
To actually join the club, I mean. Because I can't imagine Mion like unironically losing. That's just not Mion.
I do think it would be very Mion to want to be fair. Like, even if she's terrible at games, she's like, no, everyone gets the same penalty if they lose, and like, I think it informs Mion's character to be like, she doesn't have these like brutal punishments because she always wins. She enjoys the thrill of trying your best to avoid it, and like the penalties kind of, it sucks to get them, but it's kind of part of the whole fun, and she appreciates them even if she loses, which is a cool mindset, I guess. I have more thoughts, but there is a spoiler thought I want to have later. So yeah, Keiichi's like, I guess Rena really is kind of quite similar to me. And he kind of tries to like take the advantage of the, brief connection they feel, and he says like, just seriously, straightforwardly, are you guys hiding something from me? And then she gives him the look. She gives him the cat look, the cat eyes. And if you...
The fish lens look.
Yeah, if you're playing the PS3 sprites, like the sprite like suddenly like jump scares you. It's like a whole thing.
And if you're reading with voice acting, you can feel it. You can feel her voice change.
Yeah. It's such a good scene.
if you are not if you're at this point, if you've played all the way up to this point, Higurashi, and you have somehow not installed 7th mod for Higurashi, this is like the clear point where you have to stop playing.
Do yourself a favor.
Install 7th mod, and then all of your saves will be corrupted, so you'll have to like hold control to like get all the way to here. But it's worth doing. Do it. The voice acting here is like masterclass. And will be for the...
Yeah, you can keep whatever sprites you want.
Yeah, you can keep it.
Horsefry, I'm glad you're both suggesting the installation of the mod and troubleshooting them preemptively at the same time.
Yeah, keep the Ryukishi sprites. I like those. Although like the jump scare,
But the voice acting.
the voice acting is so good. But yeah, the jump scare is cool on the. I think when I played, I was like doing the Ryukishi sprites, but because I had the toggle option, I would just occasionally like toggle to see like. And I remember getting jump scared just because I was like, I wonder what the scene looks like, because it's a pretty iconic scene. But I was like, oh, I wonder what this looks like in the other artworks, and it's like toggle. Oh shit! Jump scared, but it's like front and center Rena.
Yeah, and when Rena screams saying Usoda, she screams so loud it picks the mic. I don't know if you noticed it, but she fucking picks the mic when she says Usoda.
So this isn't that point yet. She just like at this point she's just giving him the look. And she says very, still very controlled, but kind of now in a like very cold voice, well then, Keiichi-kun, aren't you keeping something from us? Suddenly she's like, yeah, you're full of lies and secrets, you little shit. I saw you go out to someone's car that I don't know. Who was this weird person that you went to the car with and talked to? And he's like, oh, it didn't have anything to do with you. And she's like, oh, isn't that interesting that you like immediately deny it has anything to do with me? Like she's just like, jumping on him with this this other thing. She does say Usuda, but this one's calm. She's like, you liar.
Mm-hmm.
You went and had tea with a cop, didn't you? Oh, and then Keiichi says like, it has nothing to do with you. He tries to finish that sentence, and then that's when she yells, Usoda! Usoda!
And it led to the worst meme in the fandom, in my opinion. Fucking Usoda. Are you fucking kidding me? That sounds nothing like Usoda.
I didn't know about that.
I don't think I've ever seen that meme.
I was so confused.
Oh,
people were going... Yeah, I don't remember the context, but people were like, Usoda. When like... Before that episode came out on Go, they were like, oh my god, you sewed on the next episode. You so. And I'm like, what the fuck are these people talking about? And then I found out it was Usoda, and I'm like, this is just stupid fucking meme. What the fuck?
I'm normally a dad joke appreciator. I appreciate, shall I give you this pair? But
is that
dumb.
That sounds like Danganronpa. Is that the Danganronpa?
No, it does sound like Danganronpa, but no, it's Sephiroth in Advent Children. He has this like, I shall show you despair, but he says it like despair. And they Photoshop like a pear in his hand. Like, it's dumb, but Usoda takes the cake, I think.
Yes.
Yeah.
Usoda. Fuck, I'm starting to laugh at it. This isn't fair. I just dissed the meme and I'm laughing at it now.
It's okay. It's mostly irrelevant. We're the only ones making that joke now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I became the very thing I swore to destroy.
And so Rena makes it pretty clear. You have secrets, we have secrets. And she walks off, and Keiichi kind of just like crumples under the like unexpected and extreme pressure of that interrogation. And he can't move again until she's disappeared out of sight.
Yeah, because she changes modes in the snap of a finger. Like she changes modes just like that when she became angry, and she changed modes just like that again when she went back to being normal.
I can't let this section go without saying like how good this writing is. Like, because like the voice acting like really sells it, and like there's some good visual effects here too with the jump scare if you're using the PS3 sprites, and even the Ryukishi sprites. The cat eyes Rena model is very creepy, but I think all of those things together could not have made it nearly as creepy as just the description. Like if this was just a hard book, a hard copy book on white paper, and you were just reading this text, you'd be creeped out too. The writing is like, it just goes from like, you're used to Rena, this kind of like, sweet, not airheaded, but like carefree,
Ditzy.
a little ditzy, yeah. Like she doesn't typically worry about things that are like significantly stressful. Like I'm talking about in up till now, she cares about digging out a Colonel Randy doll.
It seems like her biggest worry was getting trash. Yeah.
Yeah, no, I get it. It's like when the comedic relief character turns serious moment, that kind of thing.
The most serious she gets is like trying to win a game, and then it goes to this. It's like suddenly Keiichi, and Keiichi's like, we've been in his head this whole time, and it's like, yeah, like you're starting to get a little like annoyed as well. Like, don't you trust me? Like, everything I've heard so far, like there really wasn't that much need to keep it from me. Like, he understands, like, they don't want to freak me out. I get that. Like, it is kind of creepy that there was like these serial murders in the village, and they're trying to keep it from me, and I understand why. But he's like, at a certain point, he's like, if I ask about it enough, it should just be like we didn't want to scare you. Like, it shouldn't come back with this kind of like venom, thrown back in his face, like, oh, we're keeping secrets from you, you're keeping secrets from us, and then the reveal that like she saw him go into a car with Oishi, which like probably they could see it from the classroom, I guess. Like,
it's not that big of a building.
It probably wasn't hard. Yeah, like
God, I'm gonna get into spoilers so bad. Oh my god.
Yeah, yeah, we'll get there. Don't worry. But like, and the way it's thrown back, like like, was it a bad thing that he like went and saw a person at the front desk and went into their car and had a chat and then came back out? Like, it was apparently, like, the way she says it is like really accusatory, which kind of
like he committed a crime or something.
Yeah, like it's a crime, and like and all of this is like feeding. It's a feedback loop into Keiichi, where it's like, what have I done wrong? Like, seriously, like he knows he hasn't done anything wrong. But he now he feels like he's being persecuted.
To be fair, he had just been warned by Chie not to go off and say weird shit to people who may ask him things, and he did just that.
He's not the brightest bulb.
He has been committing the thought crime of being like, I should rat out my friends to the police, but he hasn't done that.
Crime.
He hasn't done that yet. Like, if anything, he's been quite defensive, protective of his friends, up until now. So.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. But yeah, no, creepy writing. I'm so relieved we finally got to this point. With, like, this whole time, like the last 4 episodes of Higurashi Bookclub, it's been all like, man, Ryukishi, what were you thinking? Like, this is weird. Stop doing this. And then now we see why Higurashi is so awesome. Like, it was worth it getting to this point.
Yeah. Up until now, we've been going, and now we're going, I don't know if I'm doing justice to the music. You know the songs I'm referencing, right?
I think so. It's been a while since I've like read it in the VN, but I think so. Like, is it fascism?
Fake fan, you've been reading it on the webpage?
Yeah, I've been reading on the web. I mean, I read it on the on the game first, but it's been a while. Actually, what has it been, like 3 years? Shit.
Damn. But yeah, it really is a great example of how great horror in Higurashi is.
And it also shows like why you need all of the fun slice of life stuff, because this would be so much less impactful if we hadn't been spending all of these days like with Rena, being our
Higurashi anime.
yeah.
It'll be a pattern for the rest of my summary as well, that Keiichi is going to be continually ping-ponging between, I like these people, they're my friends, I've been friends with them for a month or 2. Like, I like these people, I trust these people, I've built up enough goodwill with them to be like, there must be some reason Rena just did that to me. Like, like, if you've been friends with someone for a couple of months, and they, like, suddenly just bite your head off, you'd be like, you're more inclined to be like, okay, something's wrong. Rather than, like, if you meet someone for the first time and they bite your head off, you're like, wow, that person's a dick. So, like, the rest of the summary, Keiichi's constantly being like, why are my friends like this? Like, what's going on? Like, he's confused. And like, yeah, like
Yeah, I am confusion.
you need to let the audience in on that, and that's why I think you do need the slice of life. It's all been building to this moment.
And you need the monologues. The monologues are so fucking important in Higurashi, and the anime
are.
just cuts them off.
Yeah,
Yeah, they are.
because we spend literally all of our time inside the characters'
Yeah.
heads, and without it, it's just watching the characters go through the motions.
Yeah, cause in the anime you watch Rena do Sadasi and you're like, whoa, murder bobbies. In the VN, like, you have the monologues to like guide your thought process through it, to be like, okay, this is really fucking weird, but this isn't Rena, like, something happened here, like, this isn't who she is.
And like, yeah, like it's so important also to be like, every word that Keiichi says to his friends, to Rena, it's like you can see the thought process behind it. Like you can feel the confliction he feels between like, I kind of need to know what happened, but also like I know that there's a reason why it's being kept from me, and like, you know, how careful he's trying to be, and like, you know, he tries to like build up a rapport, and then like this is exactly how I would try to do something. Like if I was trying to ask a friend about something they didn't want to talk about, I'd, you know, try and talk about something that, you know, gets us on the same page, and like, but then just be like upfront, like, are you hiding something from me? Because like it, you know, doesn't feel like you trust me. Like it's very straightforward. I have no faults with Keiichi's approach here at all. But yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway,
That's true.
So yeah, part 2 of day 11. So Keiichi goes home. He freaks out at home. You know, and like I said, everything about why did Rena do that to me? You know, and as he's worried about all of that shit, he gets a call, or his parents get a call, and they call Keiichi down, like, hey, there's someone from the bookstore. And then, yeah, Keiichi picks it up. It's from Oishi. He just didn't want to tell his parents that, hey, I'm a police officer, I need to speak to your son about a murder.
Which in a way is weird, because okay, you're just having private business with a kid without informing their parents that they're being a pivotal part in an investigation. That's kind of, I don't know, unlawful.
Calling in the evening, I would be confused.
Yeah, like a bookstore is probably a good example of somewhere where, like, I mean, if you're like, hey, that book you wanted has arrived, it'll be available tomorrow morning. It probably is a little weird. The parents probably would be like, what's going on that you've been talking to this bookstore owner for like, because he talks for a fair while. But I don't think it's that unusual.
No, I even meant as a cop, like, should you as a cop not inform a child's parents that they're a pivotal part in an investigation? But like, in a way, like, that it is weird, but in a way I think Hoishi was just trying to be thoughtful, because it's as the monologue says, like, he wouldn't want his parents to know that he's involved in an investigation, because they would worry.
Yeah.
And there's no need to worry.
I don't know. Someone died. I feel like there is a need to worry.
But that's true. But I mean, like, from Keiichi's perspective.
Yeah.
Which again, I said it was Oishi trying to be thoughtful, but I don't think it was. It would just make it harder for him to reach Keiichi if his parents did know about it. So actually, fuck that. Oishi only did that because it was good for him.
That does seem the main of it. And to be honest, like, I think real life cops don't have that many rules about who they can and cannot talk to, and like, I wouldn't be surprised if a real cop could do that, just talk to a kid without the permission of the parents.
I would be surprised if they could.
Especially like a 14-year-old kid is kind of, that is right at the point where like it's a person who can make decisions for themselves a little bit. So things as simple as like, do I want to talk to the cops or not? Is like, it's.
I don't know. I feel like 14 is still too young.
Yeah, I'm not trying to justify it. I just think like the police would probably be like, if it got brought up as a complaint, the police would investigate him, and the police would be like, we found no wrongdoing. That's what I'm trying to say. They would justify it, and like it probably wouldn't be that hard. Anyway, he gets the call, and Keiichi asks Oishi if he knows about Onikakushi, and Oishi explains that it kind of refers around these parts to basically when someone disappears, like when you say they were spirited away, you know, they disappeared. It's kind of a local version of that. You were demoned away. He tells a story that I think he got from his grandma about like in ancient times, Hinamizawa was kind of feared as like a village inhabited by demons. You know, like they would come down from the mountains and grab villages and steal them away back to
The swamp.
up to Hinamizawa to devour them. And Keiichi asks the question about like, you know, like he heard like, does a curse and a demoning away always occur together? And Oishi's like, oh, I hadn't heard of that, but shit, you're right. Like every time the curse happens, like somebody dies and someone disappears. Like it's a connection he never noticed. But apparently when the couple died, to start from the first one, the first cursed victim was the foreman. He was like severed into pieces and killed, but the main culprit was never found. So there was a death and there was a demoning away. The wife of the couple that died the next year, the husband died. The wife body was never found, and then the next year, the wife of the Shinto priest. The priest died, seemingly of natural causes. The wife disappeared into the swamps and was never found. And this is new information. Apparently,
I think the husband died of suicide.
the husband. No, I think the husband. I am pretty sure the husband. Was it suicide?
Wait, what's the question?
Oh, the Shinto priest, the victim of the curse on the.
Or no, maybe it was the one who disappeared might have been suicide.
I think he died of like the one who disappeared. Yes, the wife of the Shinto priest left a note saying, "If I disappear, the demons will be satisfied and the curse will end." And then she walked off into the swamps and was. At least she said that's what she was going to walk off into the swamps, but she disappeared.
Okay.
The Shinto priest, I think, died of like heart failure or something, and it was like it was ruled to be natural
The
causes.
Shinto priest died.
But this is new information. The housewife murder. Obviously the housewife was murdered, but the perpetrator was caught and did not disappear. He was held in jail and then eventually just died of either a suicide or an accident. They're not sure. But a child from the household of the murdered housewife did disappear that year, and now, Oishi points out, Takano is missing too. So that's every year someone dies, someone disappears. And then Keiichi asks, what was the name of the person that disappeared? Who was the child that disappeared in the housewife murder? And Oishi says it was a person named Satoshi Hojo, which is like 3 pieces of information all at once. Who was the Satoshi on that card? Satoshi Hojo. Satoshi Hojo, same last name as Satoko Hojo, and disappeared. That's a lot to take in, but all that information comes at us at once. And Keiichi is, he confides to Oishi that Rena seems scared, like she thought she might be the victim of the next curse. And Oishi says to keep an eye on her, not because she's suspicious, but just to make sure that she stays safe. And right as he says that, there's a knock at the door, and Keiichi has to hang up, and he goes and answer. Keiichi's dad comes in with 2 cups of tea, and he says, "Hey, what were you talking about with Rena?" Keiichi's like, "Talking about what with who?" And he's like, "Yeah, Rena. Like she came to say hi. I called out to you, but you didn't come down. So I said, his room. It's the 4th on the left." And yeah, she goes up. Time passes, and then Keiichi's dad passed her on the way up carrying the tea, and she came back down. She never came into Keiichi's room. And the whole time, Keiichi was on the phone to Oishi. So Keiichi, imagines the situation where, like, my door isn't that thick. She could have just been sitting there, like, ear pressed to the door, listening to everything I said for the entire phone call. And that is really creepy.
Once again, this is such a great example of how Higurashi does suspense.
Yeah.
It's so fucking, especially in Onikakushi, I think it's where Higurashi is at its strongest in its suspense.
Yeah.
Because then it starts gaining qualities in other areas, but like suspense in Onikakushi is so fucking good.
captures the paranoia.
Yeah, like the sound and the visuals, again, credit to them, but the real crown here is the writing. Ryukishi just creates the situation where like it's the creeping horror of it. Like it's not the kind of horror you get playing Five Nights at Freddy's when you forget to turn off the air vent or something. I don't know. I don't play Five Nights at Freddy's. But and a creature comes crawling out and attacks you. It's like the kind of horror that you get when you're like sitting on the plane and you're just starting to like sit back and relax, and your brain is like, "Hey, did you turn off the stove before you left?" And you go, "Oh fuck!" Like it's that kind of horror.
Yeah.
Existential dread.
No, it is exactly that kind of horror that just makes you like stand up and like everything around you stops as you think like, wait.
Just like blood freezes. It's like you come to a realization. Like he gets that so good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
God damn it, Ryukishi. You're really cooking with Higurashi.
It's so good. And that's the end of the second part of day 11.
I don't think we're covering day 12.
Right. I don't think so. What's the time? Hour and a half? Yeah, let's not.
Hour and a half.
There is one tip, so it's a very quick one, and then I think we've covered everything in non-spoilers. So once we do this tip, let's just jump into spoilers.
Finally.
Sure.
No.
So
I have nothing.
The tip basically is from the police chief. It's like basically we're getting a lot of shit publicity for the town because people are getting murdered every year, and like getting a lot of tabloids and stuff coming to like try and drum up a lot of terrible publicity. So we're just going to classify a whole bunch of shit. Don't talk to the press. Non-disclosure of information. Just a general shush order on all of the relevant cases. And that's pretty much all this stuff.
Which probably made it worse.
Hard to say. I think it achieved the goal.
It kept it contained, but...
It kept it contained, yeah. Like, Keiichi doesn't come to Hinamizawa being like, wait, Hinamizawa, isn't that the murder village? Like, I think something like this, if they hadn't done this, that's probably what would have happened. Yeah. It would have been like, all over the news, 60 Minutes, the Hinamizawa murder village. And like it really would have been impossible to control if it got to that point. And that probably would have been a bad thing for everyone who lived in Hinamizawa. Just like the press, the publicity, like the people who lost loved ones, would just be hounded all the time. I respect this decision, but yeah, it does, I guess, point to not a conspiracy, but a general kind of. You realize that what they're doing is like
corruption.
They're aware of the problem and they're just trying to like do damage control. And it kind of points to the fact that like nobody knows what the fuck's going on, seemingly. So, yeah.
Yes. Okay. Well, should we go into spoiler section?
Yes,
I think so.
Okay. So if you haven't read past this point, you've been reading for less than 8 hours. So go read more and come back when you're older. The adults will now graduate into the spoiler part. It won't contain spoilers for Higurashi. If we do get into other spoilers for other things, we'll tell you. In the meantime, we hope you enjoyed this episode and see you on the next one.
Before I forget.
And now we're on the spoiler part. Before you forget?
Oh, I was going to say for the spoiler part, but before I forget. A shitpost. Oishi is Hanyu.
What?
Oishi loves cream puffs.
The cream puffs.
I think I've heard this.
Oh, right. Yeah, that is funny. That is funny because Hanyu doesn't like Oishi, right? Like Hanyu is like ACAB. Like,
oh my god, fighting her inner demons.
Like this is a real like Kinzo versus Maria situation where it's like they would like each other if they were just able to get past their irreconcilable differences.
Oh my god, that's so fucking true.
And honestly, I don't think I can ever get past the Oishi that peed on the shrine.
Oh, yeah. Is that?
I forgot about that.
Let's go. So
yes, it is.
I have seen that.
I completely fucking forgot about that. God damn.
Okay, that was my one shitpost spoiler.
Imagine.
I think Takano and Hanyu would be better friends even.
Yeah. Imagine you are the real. I guess Hanyu is the real god of of the shrine. But like, imagine you're Hanyu, and like you're like just chilling out in the shrine, and like Takano comes up, starts talking all this shit about how she's gonna like defeat fate, and you're like, fuck off. And then she's like, just as she's leaving, you're like, finally, I can rest in peace. And then like this fucking cop comes up, and he's like, starts pissing on your shrine. It's like, can I catch a break? Like,
God damn it.
Wait, isn't that with Umineko though? Imagine that's just Umineko. Cause wait, we just got into fucking Umineko spoilers. This episode is just a train wreck.
The experiment has.
I'm just gonna be moving things all over the place.
Spoilers.
This is why I said we should like just try do a non-spoiler section, but not announce it, and then we don't have to apologize when we've like screwed up. But so good.
I guess it would have been better. Yes.
Yeah.
It was a good experience.
Yeah. This is entertainment. It's entertaining.
I guess that settles it. We're not doing the spoiler-free parts.
We can be better. But I do like how it's structured the episode so far. Like, it's kind of nice to have been able to get out of the way the writing, the feelings of suspense, and now we can talk about what it means in terms of the overall story. I have a few thoughts, but did you have more for your thought, Iz?
No, that was it.
So, I want to talk about Rena in this scene because I remember first reading this, and I have never reread Onikakushi up until now. My experience going through Onikakushi the first time was like, Keiichi's tripping. Like, it was all focused on like, what is Keiichi doing? Like, why does it sound like Keiichi is sick every time something bad happens? Like, why are all the characters basically kind of acting bipolar? Where it kind of sounds like he's hallucinating these scary moments, and then
You saw through it.
and then later on they're being like, "What? We didn't stand at your door and intimidate you." It's like either they're like gaslighting him, which is part of the horror of this whole like half of the VN, or they actually genuinely have no idea and like he's hallucinating it. So I was focused on Keiichi. On a reread, like I feel like there's a lot that Rena is doing really badly right here. Like and I think and the clues are all there that would like
Yes. Yeah.
She
loses her temper and she's freaking out as well. Like behind all of this, like it's easy to get lost in like Keiichi is freaking out because Keiichi is like having this like nobody trusts me and like there's these murders and everyone's denying it and like everyone acts like they don't trust me. But Rena in the background is like, oh, Yoshiro-sama did this to get to me. Like she's
freaking
like,
out.
am I going to be the next victim? And so like Keiichi comes along and he's like, hey, like are people?
Keiichi's asking about Satoshi now, and
like exactly, like
who disappeared. Like, and
See, I didn't even read it that way. I didn't even read it as Rena freaking out because she thinks she's next victim. I saw it as Rena freaking out because she's seeing the same thing happen to Keiichi than what happened to Satoshi. Which is, he just starts chatting with Oishi, then he starts suspecting them, and she, like, something in her mind just clicks, and she's like, we can't let this fucking happen, it cannot happen again. Like, and also, because we know Rena also isn't totally sane, she's also going through things, and Rena, one of the big things in her character is how protective she is of her happy moments, and the effort she puts into living happily. And so back then when things happened to Satoshi, she got mad that she was the person with the less power from their friend group, and yet she was the one pulling the most weight, creating the club and all of that. And then she got, like we see in her monologue in Subiharobu, she didn't like the attitude of Rika, Satoko, and Mion. She felt like they didn't do anything. But this time they are doing things. They are cooperating with her on this whole non-disclosure of information to Keiichi. And yet, even though everything's going okay this time, it's like Keiichi is doing his best to foil their plans. And since she just has all of this frustration that comes not only from worrying about Keiichi, but also from still not having fully coped with what happened to Satoshi, and also her own problems of like her trying to protect her happy days, and Keiichi is like he's chasing problems at this point. So all of this culminates into this moment where Rena just fucking loses it. It's not her trying to be scary, it's her also being the main character of her own story that we're not reading yet.
She's concerned. She's nervous. She's...
On this reread, I specifically went back and reread all of these bits where Keiichi is doing cat eyes. Rena is doing cat eyes to Keiichi. I read it through and then I reread it and I was like, okay, what does this look like without the cat eyes, without the creepy change in tone of voice? That could all be hallucination. But I think everything she says is still Rena, right? And she's saying, like, she's answering Keiichi's question in the same fucking infuriating way that she does all, like the don't know has evolved into, like, Keiichi's direct. He's like, I think you're hiding something from me. And she's just direct back. She's like, yeah, well, so are you. Don't worry about it. Everybody hides shit.
Yes. I wrote that exact same thought.
It's like, it's kind of like, I guess it's a spoiler section, so I can say, like, when Keiichi's, like, confesses to everyone, he's like, oh, I did this terrible thing, I, like, shot a little girl's eye out with a BB gun, and he's like going into detail about it, and they're all like, dude, you don't actually have to tell us that, like, you can if you want, but, like, you don't have to tell us that for us to be friends.
Everyone has their secrets.
Trauma dumping in general, Keiichi.
Yeah, and they're like, everybody has demons, and, like, they really do. Like, all of them have demons. Like, Keiichi thinks he's the one hiding that, like, the BB gun thing from them, and they're all, like, perfect angels. It's not like that. They all have stuff that they could vent just as bad, if not, like, I mean, Keiichi's probably got the least, like, terrifying one, I guess, in terms of the problems they're facing.
Keiichi has the mildest backstory of the group.
Yeah, like...
And he shot a kid with a BB gun.
I think
That's saying a lot.
Rika technically has the mildest backstory.
All this to say, like, Rena really fumbles this. Like, I think she's trying to reassure him, but she, like...
Sorry.
The way she says it is, like, she exposes some knowledge that Keiichi didn't know she had, which is that he went and talked to this random stranger. She's like, I don't know, and there's something kind of sinister, and I think there is a little bit of accusation there, because, like, that's the only reason why you'd bring up you went to talk to a strange man and didn't tell us. Like, it's like there is a little bit of distrust there.
Rena's hurt that he's keeping it from her.
Yeah, like I assume that she knows who Oishi is. Like, she says, like, why are you going to speak to a strange man that I don't recognize? I think she knows who it is because, like, probably they all, like, went to the window and, like, watched Keiichi walk into the car. Like, I just assume that the layout of the school building, like, allows that, because it's, like, it never says that they don't. So, like, it's not strange that they know about this. And then like, Mion would be like, oh, that cop, he's like a dirty piece of shit, because, like, we have history, we have beef going back to the dam construction site. So, like, they're in that world of, like, why is Keiichi talking to a pig? And then Keiichi's, like, just not occurred to him that, like, someone else would know that. But yeah, I just think Rena, I assume her goal here is to, like, just try and deflect some more, and she just really doesn't want to tell him about the murders, but she really fumbles it, I think. Yeah,
because Rena is I don't know, I feel like Rena, when she's focused, she's really good at what she's doing, but here her facade just broke down. She's off balance. She's just being a loose cannon.
There's emotional Rena and there's rational Rena, and the two cannot exist at once, and this is full on emotion.
No, they I think they can exist at once, and that's what we see in Higurashi. She's being completely delusional, but she's being so efficiently delusional.
The two can only exist with syndrome.
Yes. And I was also gonna bring up the parallels between Rena and Rika that I only now just noticed as we were having this conversation. Because, one, both of them are serious people with happy-go-lucky facades. And 2, in this scene, Rena is literally living what Rika probably did many times, which is having hope that something is working. Like, I imagine Rika at the first couple of whoops, and also, as we know, Rika on the final whoop, and on the final 2 whoops, I mean, she starts feeling hopeful when pieces start falling into place. Just like Rene saying, okay, we're actually being able to not tell Keiichi anything. The other people in the club are cooperating and are helping this time. And then their hopes get crushed and they just despair, which is what, like, Rika just turns to wine and Rene lashes out on Keiichi.
Okay, I thought you were going to bring up, because in Watanagashi, Rika is the one who completely flubs, and I think she does a better job, but she still fails to calm down Keiichi in Watanagashi. Like, she does the whole, like, oh, if a little cat wandered into a place it wasn't supposed to, all it should do is tell its owner and the owner will take care of it. I can't remember the exact story, but it's something about a little cat that, like, did something wrong, but everything's okay and you don't have to worry. The cat doesn't have to worry. But she just doesn't quite land it. I don't know, that's something they have in common as well, I think. Like, I do think Rena is trying to calm Keiichi down here, but I think she's just, like, she's letting a little bit of, like, distrust creep in, and at the same time, like, not really recognizing what effect it's going to have on Keiichi for his like, very straightforward question and request to be, like, just kind of, like, parried and, like, riposted, like, real hard. Yeah. What were you going to say, Ez?
I was going to say, I feel like I really do see Rena losing her temper, only because I think it's the only reason that I can see, A, that she walks away on her own, doesn't wait for Keiichi, and B, why she would go over to Keiichi's in the evening to apologize. Because, I don't know, I was trying to think...
Yeah, I think that's what she went there to do, too.
I was trying to think what...
I think she calmed down and... Yeah.
Yeah, because that whole evening scene, I think, like, thinking about where Rena is, when, and why is interesting.
Yeah.
Because...
That makes a lot of sense, actually. Maybe you're right, like, yeah, maybe she really is yelling at him, and like, we know it's in character. I've kind of come from, like, having read Onikakushi once, I'd kind of gone through it like, okay, the key to this one is that, like, Keiichi is freaking out and everyone else is fine, but there really is, like, a genuinely large amount of, like, Rena kind of pushing him towards that direction.
Yeah, and regarding Rena going there in the evening to apologize, even if the reason she went there was to apologize, I don't think she would have told him the truth. Because if she did, she would have done that on the next day. Because I don't imagine like seeing Keiichi speak with Oishi would be enough to make her go, now I'm not telling you the truth anymore. Because if she was going there to tell him the truth, that would be out of concern, so that wouldn't be affected by him chatting with Oishi. She would still be concerned even if she felt hurt. I think, I don't know, I'm trying to justify this, but the more I talk about it, the more I'm convinced by this empty I'm trying to fight against.
Like, I mean,
I'm wondering, what does... Oh, go ahead.
I was just going to say, like, one of the things that Keiichi says in the phone call that we can presume that Rena heard was that he had been listening to that private conversation while pretending to sleep, which is, like, quite a big kind of, I don't know. That's kind of worrying. Like, I can imagine Rena at this point starting to be like, is Keiichi a spy? Like, is he literally, like, here on, like, the you know, did Oishi send him as a mole? Like, I don't think it's there yet. I think they still, like, are thinking, like, hey, Keiichi just needs, like, a prod in the right direction, and, like, you know, needs to be reminded about the village kind of solidarity and stuff. But, like, that's a big thing to have realized here, and it probably has done nothing to help their understanding.
I wonder what Rena's... Because we don't see her at all in this scene, obviously, so I wonder what her feelings are after she's leaving this scene, because I'm pretty sure the next time we see Rena is when she and Mion drop off the Ohagi.
It is, yeah.
right?
Yeah, that's right. Because I think Keiichi is sick after this.
So
this is getting into day 10, day 12.
yeah. So I feel like maybe Rena saw the conversation, heard the conversation, and is like, why would she and Mion then from the conversation think to bring the food over? That's I wanna figure out Rena's train of thought.
Especially like she could have covered up like some of the like the way she does it. It's like it's very obvious because like Keiichi's dad knows she was there, and Keiichi knows she wasn't there. So like it's not like she can hide the fact that she listened to the whole conversation. She just decides to leave rather than just like knocking on the door and interrupting Keiichi in the middle of this conversation, which I think would have been a bit better. Like Keiichi might not have realized how much she heard. She could have acted oblivious and like protected some of their relationship that way. So that's like another thing that's kind of she's probably just like, I don't know, needing time to process this.
Yeah, exactly. And I think that's exactly what she does. I don't think there's much to read into the fact that the next we see her is in the Ohagi scene. Because some time passes. It's not like she left Keiichi's home and immediately brought the Ohagi over. Like I felt like she first for fucking hell English, don't fail me now. At first she felt hurt, and then she went home and coped with it, and then eventually the club regrouped, and they maybe discussed Keiichi's situation, and then Keiichi doesn't go to school the next day, right? And then they're like, maybe he's feeling scared of us or something. We should do something to cheer him up and show him we're still his friends. Let's make him food.
You know what I just realized? Like when they bring the Ohagi, and this may just be a cover because I know Mion doesn't necessarily let on that she's a great cook at this early in the story, but either Mion made the Ohagi that she claims her grandma made, or her grandma really was making Ohagi with Rena and Mion, and like the part of the decision to like, hey, let's bring Keiichi some Ohagi was like Oreo Sonozaki's idea. Like, I can see some of like Rena runs away. She's like, I need time to like think about like, is Keiichi a mole? They go to talk to the Sonozakis, and like maybe Oreo's just like, you know what? Like, it isn't really that big of a deal. Like, I know, like, and she privately knows like the Sonozakis had nothing to do with this. Almost certainly Rika had nothing to do with this because she is a child. If there was an actual conspiracy in the village, I would know about it to murder Tomitaki. So it's not really a huge deal that Keiichi's talking with them, and he's not really revealing anything that's like damaging. It's only damaging Oishi's opinion of them, and they already hate each other. So like, who cares? So like, I could easily see, you know, Rena runs away, talks to Mion talks to Mion's grandma, and Rena's probably there as well, and like Oreo's just like, oh look, let's not worry about it, let's all chill out, let's make him some food to
cheer him up,
get him back on side, cheer him up. When he's feeling better, maybe we'd like...
You have such a friendly interpretation of Oreo. That's funny, because I don't imagine...
It is very... But it's also very, like, it's a self-serving one as well. Like, she wants the village to prosper and stuff, and, like, there's no point in antagonizing Keiichi because he hasn't really done anything yet. And she can probably infer that, like, Oishi's probably poisoning his mind with, like intimidations and stuff. Like, they're used to him playing
also,
dirty,
especially
so,
if
like,
Oishi, like, soiled the Sonozaki family name, saying that they were really suspicious. Like, yeah, here's a gift from the Sonozaki. They're normal, nice people. Like, Mion's grandma made them.
No, but in that case, if that's what we're going with, I have to disagree, because it is stated that the fame that the Sonozakis have, that helps them, because the Sonozakis, even though they're Yakuza, they don't actually do a lot of Yakuza things. They just get away with it because they have the fame. So they don't actually need to do anything. They just show up and people fear them because they have that. They're infamous, but they don't actually do anything.
Keiichi doesn't know that.
They're a well-respected family in Hinamizawa. So, like, Keiichi...
Yeah, exactly.
It's like someone that they want to, like, give good PR to because they want to be on good terms with him. They want to be on good terms with his parents. It's good for the village that this guy does like painting here or something.
I don't know. I don't know if that's just my headcanon that I don't realize is a headcanon, or if I'm just not remembering things. But I thought Oreo was kind of like racist towards outsiders.
No, that was the
wasn't
whole
she?
front, because she was the one who actually was heading the whole new people in the village.
She actually quite likes Keiichi. Keiichi gets to talk her into a bunch of stuff that she wouldn't have done normally in later arcs, of course. And to be fair, I don't know how much of that applies here. The other alternative option, which like plus or minus may involve like Mion's grandma didn't make anything, and like Mion is just saying that it is her grandma so that she doesn't have to admit that she's actually a really good cook, because we know that's a thing that comes up later, is she's actually a really good cook, but she doesn't necessarily want Keiichi to know that for some reason.
I feel like that would be more in character, yes.
Yeah. So like it could be Mion who's having this influence. Like Mion also knows all of the stuff that her grandma knows. She can be like, oh yeah, like we can chill out about Keiichi talking to Oishi. Like I don't like
Let's make
Oishi,
him a
but
snack.
he probably is like poisoning. Let's make him a snack. Let's try and make up, because it really doesn't matter. He's not a traitor. She could easily be calming Rena down at this point. Like,
Especially because Oishi said, like, be careful because Rena might be the next victim. You should keep an eye on her. That would further fuel Rena's paranoia, which would explain why she'd run away without saying
she
anything.
wouldn't have heard that though, because Oishi said that to Keiichi, and Keiichi didn't repeat it. So she probably didn't hear that. But yeah, like it doesn't help. It probably doesn't help Keiichi's interpretation of events, because he's supposed to be keeping an eye on Rena, and that's going to focus his L5 attention on her, which will probably come up later. Does anyone else have?
Let's see. What else do I have? Let me think. Let me see. Oh yeah. When Keiichi is on the phone, there's this part of the. Shit. No, never mind. This is Umineko. Let me move on. She never noticed one person. Oh, is she not never noticing that there's always one person dying and one person disappearing? It feels kind of weird that he never noticed that, even though he's working on the case for so long. But if I'm not mistaken, that's not actually how it goes, right? I'm pretty sure there's like
It's
1 year or
coincidental.
two where the person who disappears doesn't actually disappear on Watanagashi. They disappeared like a couple of days after Watanagashi.
Yeah. Well,
Yeah.
Satoshi definitely does. Yeah, multiple.
So
days
like
after.
it isn't as coincidental as it seems at first glance. It's just that for simplicity's sake, people just started talking about it as if everything did happen on the precise day of the Watanagashi festival. And now, when you talk about this disappearances, you just talk about it as if everything happened on that day. So, which just makes it seem like even more of a ritual. So the fact that it isn't actually the exact same thing all years is what makes Oishi never even realize that every year a person dies and a person disappears. It's not as similar every year as this part of the story is portraying it as.
Yeah. I remembered I had one more. I might have had more. I'm sorry if I said in the summary like, oh, I have spoiler section thoughts about this, and then I forget about it, because I probably did forget one or more. But I know I have at least one more, which is Rena. When Rena says that the club was started while she was there, she may not be lying, but I think she doesn't. I think that isn't quite true. I think the club existed before then. I don't remember. Like, would Rena have been in the same club as Satoshi?
It's just fucking lying.
I don't think it did.
No, she was the one who suggested. She suggested the club start because of Satoshi.
And Satoko and Rika aren't friends until then either.
So is the timeline Satoshi, Rika,
Yeah.
Satoko, and
She's
Mion
just lying.
start the club, and then Satoshi disappears, and then Rena appears, or like Rena comes, or Rena.
No.
I remember. Yeah, I remember. Yeah,
No. Rena's there in the beginning.
Yeah.
Like Rena is the one who starts the club. She's the one who
okay.
suggests they start a club.
So maybe she isn't lying. She's just lying about Satoshi. That's okay. So that'll
For
be what it is.
Satoshi.
She's lying about when Satoshi
like as a
left / disappeared. Yeah.
Yeah,
That's got it cleared up.
because that's the whole which again lends even more credibility to the idea that the reason they bring him the Ohagi is just because they want to like make amends, I guess, and like show Keiichi that they're still friends, because that's the same strategy they did with Satoshi. They got him into the club,
not have another Satoshi.
so they're doing club activities for Keiichi when he misses school.
Yeah. What was your Umineko spoiler, Des?
Okay, so we are now getting into Umineko spoiler. I mean, it's not a spoiler. I don't think it's a spoiler. It's very surface level character description level. So I'm just gonna say it. There's no spoiler. There's this part of the narration when Keiichi is on the telephone with Oishi. He is monologuing. He's going, "Was I terrified from Rena going off on me? No, that's not right. That was someone else who only looked like Rena. Then, who could it have been? It was a dreadful feeling, knowing that was someone else, not Rena. So tomorrow I shouldn't have a problem talking to Rena like I usually do." That thought was strangely comforting. And I'm just reading this and going like, okay, Maria, like disregarding the weird behavior from someone you like and just treating it as someone else entirely, so it doesn't stain the idea you have of that person.
Damn. I wasn't even thinking of Maria. I thought you were going to say Battler for a different reason.
Because they're both stupid.
Yeah, that's also true.
Well, like, the Battler thing is, like, the way he keeps going back and forth and he, like, arrives at this, like, kind of stupid, but, like, basically not self-serving, but, like, he arrives at something he wants to believe because it's more convenient than, like, actually thinking it through. Like, Battler will be like... True. No, it was definitely a 19th person. Like he'll have these big long monologues where he goes back and forth and he like arrives on. No, it was definitely a 19th person because I love all of my family and none of my family are sus whatsoever. Like, yeah, which
yes.
Does that cross the line into spoilers? Maybe not. No, probably not.
Yeah, I don't think that counts.
No, that's like EP1. That's like mid EP1 Battler thoughts. So no, he does have 19th person thoughts because he has that whole conversation with Kyrie and Ava, and both of those like prime him to start thinking about like, is there a 19th person or is it one of the 18? So like,
yeah. Oh, anything else?
Yeah, I don't think it's
close the episode.
But yeah. Like I guess Maria is. No, yeah, Maria has those thoughts as well. Yeah, no, I don't think any of this is spoilers. We've crossed, despite our best efforts, we have crossed the 2-hour mark again.
We have. God fucking damn it. Well,
I love Higurashi.
Yeah.
If that's all, we're gonna close the episode now. We hope you enjoyed it.
Such is fate.
We hope to see you on the next episode. See ya.
See ya.
Bye.